Facts First presents Real meanings behind the most famous acronyms are making people lose it. Acronyms are language shortcuts to save us time. Since the invention of texting, there have been plenty of new acronyms, such as SMH, which means shake my head, IDK, which means I don't know, or OMW, on my way. These are just a few of the many acronyms we use every day. Some acronyms are relatively new, others have been around for over 100 years. The real meanings behind some of these most famous acronyms might confuse you just a bit, or at least surprise you. Necco. Who doesn't love the chalky conversation hearts that are popular during Valentine's Day, right? If you love the candy, you can get that same candy but shaped like a disc all year long. They are called Necco wafers. You ever wonder where the name Necco comes from? It's an acronym for the New England Confectionery Company, and they've been making these sweet candies since 1901. ALF. You remember the 80s sitcom ALF? It was a show about a furry alien who crash-landed on Earth and moved in with a family. And he drove the family nuts. And he also liked to snack on cats. Okay, so how did they come up with the name ALF? Well, even in the show, they do explain it. His name ALF is actually an acronym for Alien Life Form. PAM. If you've ever baked anything, you've likely used PAM. Most people think that PAM is the name of the type of product, but it's not. It's just the name of the product. For example, many people will call a tissue a Kleenex, but Kleenex is just the name brand. It's not an actual Kleenex if you're buying Puffs, for example. Well, the name PAM is an acronym for Product of Arthur Meyer, not to be confused with Oscar Mayer. CAPTCHA. Many websites make you put letters into a CAPTCHA box to prove that you are a human, not a bot filling out the information. The name CAPTCHA isn't a clever way of saying capture, though. It's actually short for Completely Automated Public Turing Test to tell computers and humans apart. Yeah, a lot easier just to say CAPTCHA. YKK. If you look at your jeans, sweatshirts, jackets, any other piece of clothing that has a zipper, you'll notice the letters YKK inscribed on the zipper. It's an acronym for the company that made the zipper, and the largest manufacturer in the world is Yoshida Kogyo Kabusha Kagaisha. CVS. CVS Pharmacy is one of the largest drugstore chains in the United States. CVS stands for CVS Corporation, but it's not always been that way. Before CVS became a Fortune 500 company, it started as just a single store in 1963, which was called Consumer Value Store, later shortened to just CVS. DARE. In school, students are taught not to do drugs. A police officer named Daryl Gates started the DARE program, and there are many slogans with it. One is Dare to Stay Off Drugs. What you might not know, though, is that DARE is an acronym for Drug Abuse Resistance Education. A&W. It was created when Roy Allen first tasted root beer in 1922. From that very first sip, he knew there was a fortune to be made. Roy bought the recipe and opened up a roadside stand to sell his root beer. He named the company A&W after himself and his partner Frank Wright. Opie. Just about every nail salon in the world used Opie nail polish and other manicure products. When the company first opened, they didn't have anything to do with the nail business. They started out as a dental supply company, believe it or not, and OPI stood for Odontorium Products, Inc. When they became a nail and manicure product company, they decided to keep the name. 3M. 3M makes plenty of products that you use all the time, like, for example, Scotch tape. 3M didn't always sell these products, though. When the company first opened, they mined stone walls for precious minerals. 3M stood for Minnesota Mining and Manufacturing Company. When they switched their focus, they decided to keep the name because they already had a stellar reputation. They just shortened it to 3M. Kmart. When you see the big red K, you know you're looking at a Kmart, and there's a reason they use a big K. Sebastian S. Kresge was once a clerk at a five-and-dime store and later became the owner of Kmart. JCPenney. JCPenney is actually short for the man James Cash Penney. He opened his first store in 1902, and the rest is history. LL Bean. LL Bean is one of the most popular outdoor wear companies in the world. The company's name stands for its founder, Leon Leonwood Bean. Eminems. Everybody's tried Eminems at least once in their life. The candies are named after their two founders, Forrest Mars Sr. and Bruce Murray. Smart car. Most people think that they are called smart cars because they're great on gas, they're eco-friendly, and that makes them smart. Well, the actual name is a mashup of the co-creators, Swatch and Mercedes art. USA Patriot Act. Most people think it got its name because you have to be a true patriot to believe in it, but that's not the case. It's actually an acronym for United and Strengthening America by Providing Appropriate Tools Required to Intercept and Obstruct Terrorism. That is a lot to say and remember. USA Patriot Act, that's a lot easier to say. Taser. A taser is a widely used zapper that was invented by NASA researcher Jack Cover. You ever wondered where he came up with the name? It came from his favorite childhood book, Tom Swift and His Electric Rifle. In the book, there was a sci-fi version of the weapon. The name is a loose acronym of the book's title. Zip code. Zip codes were developed in 1963 as a way to make mail delivery easier. It stands for Zone Improvement Plan codes, and each area of the U.S. was designated a separate number. Today, you have to include a zip code in an address when sending a mail. GEICO. Before GEICO insurance was available to the public, it was only available to government employees. The name originally stood for Government Employees Insurance Company. When the insurance was offered to everyone, including the public, they kept the name because it already had an excellent reputation. BJ's. The man who started BJ's Wholesale Club didn't name the store after himself. He named it after his daughter, Beverly Jean Wake. He sold the company 3 years later, but Beverly's name still remains. What are the backgrounds of some other acronyms? If you know some, tell us in the comments, and subscribe for more.